Hi everybody. Today I'm going to make one of the spoons that go with this ceramic sugar pot that I started making. The pot itself is from clay, and the lid is from the lid and the spoon are from both are from this oak, this old brown oak that I found on the streets of Paris. Uh, when I was working at a shop there with a furniture repair guy, and constantly finding stuff on the street. This was an old dining table that I think was decades old. It was the center column of the base was broken, and one of the wings on the top that folded out was broken, but still yielded a lot of wood. So that's what this is. Uh, so now I'm just roughing it out on the bandsaw. Now this perspective on the bandsaw makes this look a lot closer than it actually is. So don't scream out in horror. Um, but that being said, you should be comfortable with any tools that you're using. Obviously, woodworking tools, certainly a bandsaw. But there's the rough shape. I keep the sides of them quite square. Um, because you'll see in this step that they stay in the clamp a lot easier if they're still sort of squared on the edges, so that I can scoop out the middle. And I'm just using these two gouges. I don't officially have a curved gouge or a spoon gouge, but I might have to try to locate one at some point. But these seem to be working quite well for now. Um, so just sort of scooping out the middle. Um, this some of this oak is quite soft in some parts of it. This piece I'm working on now was kind of working a little more like pine almost, but it is brown oak. So just kind of scooping out the middle. I'm sure official spoon makers or spoon carvers out there will probably think there's plenty of better ways to do this, and I'm quite sure they're right. I've made just a few spoons. I just started to play around with making them to go with these pots that I'm making. So kind of new to it, but this is sort of what I've come up with and figured out that works with what I have. And they don't take me too long to make, so each time I make a few, they get a little bit quicker. So maybe I'll try some specialty spoon gouge at some point, but now just back to the bandsaw to clean up those squared off edges a little to make for a little less sanding. The next step is sanding, which is probably at least half of the total time I spend on these. But and again, don't be concerned about the perspective. It's maybe kind of a strange angle, but just cutting out the rough shape. And I'm not trying to make these the same at all. In fact, I want them to not be the same. Each one is different. Some are crooked, some are off center. I try to get them roughly about the same length, but they all look the way they look, and that's kind of what I'm shooting for. The same goes for the lids for the pots also. The wood kind of looks the way it looks, and the shape ends up the way that it ends up. That's kind of what I'm going for. So I've been doing carpentry and woodworking for a very, very long time, but the pottery is quite new to me, just barely over a year, maybe a year and a half now. So I'm trying to do a combination pieces, both loves, pottery and woodworking. So this is one of the combos I've come up with, and got a couple of more. I might do other videos on those in the future, but here's the final step. It's just sanding. I've got 40 grit paper on here. This is where this Rotex sander really shines because you can set it for orbital or full rotation. And it's set for full rotation now, so it really takes the stuff away quick. So you kind of have to hang on to it, or your spoon will end up across the room, or the thing can jump right out of your hand as well. But it's a really great tool to use. So just this is it. I'm just sanding it. Keep sanding like this until I kind of arrive at the shape that I want, and that's basically all there is to it. Not a lot of official carving to the spoon, except maybe if you consider the gouges, just scooping out the middle. But I use this sander a lot for a lot of stuff like this, even making drawer pulls and handles for furniture pieces, and just sort of become like a third hand for me. I like to use it. That's pretty much it. There's another little spoon from that old brown oak that'll find its way into a new little pot, hopefully, to scoop out sugar or pick up a sugar cube or whatever maybe someone wants to put in there. So that's it. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you next time.